Amanda Anisimova overpowers Naomi Osaka in 2025 U.S. Open semifinal comeback. There's an American in the U.S. Open women's singles final, and her name is Amanda Anisimova. Anisimova, the number 8 seed, rallied to defeat Japan's Naomi Osaka 6-7, 4, 7-6, 3, 6-3, in a nail-biting match that was just as close and thrilling as Thursday night's score indicates. How tight was this instant classic? At one point, Osaka, the number 23 seed, was 3 points from punching her ticket into Saturday's final. At another juncture, Anisimova let 2 match points slip away in a final game in which she stiff-armed 2 break points. There was a razor-thin difference between these two. At certain times, it seemed Satan one or the other was soon to be anointed the winner. How did Anisimova turn back Osaka, a 2-time U.S. Open singles champion and 4-time majors titleist? "Oh my God, I don't know," said Anisimova, after she dropped to her knees in jubilation and pounded the famous Arthur Ashe Stadium hardcourt. "Naomi is playing amazing tennis, and she is back where she belongs. And I told her I'm so proud of her after having a baby and playing at this level. It's insane." Some thought it was crazy, with Osaka serving for the match at 6-5 in the second set, that Anisimova had a pulse in this outing. But she stayed positive, kept banging her powerful ground strokes, and somehow did a Houdini act that is still mind-boggling. "She was really giving me a run for the final," said Anisimova, after advancing to her home major final in a nearly 3-hour tussle. "I wasn't sure I was going to make it to the finish line. I tried to dig deep, and it was a huge fight out there today. We were both playing some amazing tennis. I thought, how are we making these shots? But we were, and we just kept going." The first set was sensational and ended in a tiebreak, which Osaka won, 7-4. The breaker mirrored the rest of the set. When one of these big hitters would start to claim a slight edge, the nerves would visit to bring them back even. It was 2-1 to Osaka in the tiebreak when Anisimova got edgy. She double-faulted and missed a forehand on her serve, giving her opponent a 4-1 lead. The Japanese star seized the advantage. The second set is the one that will haunt Osaka, who had eliminated 3 higher seeds to reach the semis. With the match on her racket, she got tight and Anisimova got fearless. After Anisimova took control in the tiebreak, it was anyone's match, although Lady Momentum was sitting next to Anisimova during the set break, as Osaka left the court. When Osaka dumped a forehand into the net in the third set's 4th game, Anisimova had the critical break. That was the difference as Anisimova sprinted toward the tape and into the final, although it took her 3 match points to seal the deal. "At the end I'm just trying to fight my way through and I was trying to enjoy the moment," said Anisimova, who had 50 winners to Osaka's 32. The crowd, ignoring the clock which had eclipsed midnight, was delirious that New Jersey girl was into the final. Anisimova, who also advanced to this summer's Wimbledon final, was challenged in trying to explain its significance. "It means the world," she said. "I'm trying to process that right now. It's just absolutely a dream come true. It has been a dream of mine like forever to be in the U.S. Open final, and obviously the hope is to be the champion. But I'm in the final now and I'll try to get ready." Ready or not, here comes Anisimova, and you can doubt her at your own risk. What it means: Anisimova has a huge hurdle to ascend when facing defending champion Aryna Sabalenka in Saturday's showdown for the U.S. Open singles title, after the world number 1 reached her 3rd straight final. The pair has played 9 times, with Anisimova holding a convincing 6-3 advantage. None of the Americans' wins were bigger than her one in this summer's Wimbledon semifinals, when she eliminated Sabalenka 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, to reach her first Grand Slam final. They also had 2 other matches in the majors this year, with Sabalenka winning 7-5, 6-3, in the round of 16 at Roland Garros and at the Australian Open, in the same round, 6-3, 6-2. Match point: with her pinpoint ground strokes, Anisimova is known to paint a line or two. So it's not surprising that among her hobbies is painting, which she turned to when she stepped away briefly from tennis in 2023 for a mental health break. Under her project, Art for Hope, Anisimova sold her paintings to raise funds for charities supporting mental health causes. There are moments in tennis that transcend the sport, where the match becomes more than serves and forehands, where every point pulses with heartache, grit, and raw willpower. The 2025 U.S. Open semifinal between Amanda Anisimova and Naomi Osaka was one of those moments. When Anisimova stepped onto Arthur Ashe Stadium under the twilight glow of a late New York summer, she wasn't the favorite. She wasn't the crowd's darling or the headline's prediction. That role belonged to Osaka, the four-time Grand Slam champion, resurgent and serene, back in vintage form. Yet 2 hours and 37 minutes later, it was Amanda Anisimova standing tall with her fist in the air and tears pooling in her eyes, having orchestrated one of the most unforgettable comebacks in recent memory. 3-6, 4-6, 7-6, 7, 6-3, 6-2. For Anisimova, this wasn't just about tennis. It was a battle against ghosts, of early promise derailed by personal tragedy, of injuries that halted momentum, of the mental toll of expectation too early and too heavy. Once hailed as the next great American hope after her 2019 French Open semifinal run at age 17, her trajectory had been anything but linear. Still, she kept returning to the court, her game maturing, her body rebuilding, her mind recalibrated. On the other side of the net was Osaka, graceful as ever, serving aces like daggers, her baseline game fluid and composed. She took the first 2 sets with authority, looking every bit the champion she has always been. But beneath the calm was a brewing storm, Anisimova's relentless hunger. Down 2 sets, Anisimova had every reason to fold. But as the third set progressed, her strokes began to bite deeper. Her backhand, always a weapon, started finding sharper angles. Her serve, shaky at the start, turned reliable. The crowd sensed it too. The New York faithful, always eager for battle, switched from polite applause to full-throated support. The third set tiebreak was the axis on which the entire match turned. Osaka led 6-4, 2 match points in hand. But Anisimova erased them both with bold, aggressive play. One a thunderous cross-court winner, the other a gutsy servant volley that caught Osaka off guard. At 8-7, Anisimova ripped a backhand return winner that sent the stadium into chaos. She didn't just win the set, she cracked the match open. What followed was a display of fearless tennis. Anisimova, now buoyed by belief and adrenaline, elevated her game to a level that even Osaka couldn't match. She began painting the lines with unnerving accuracy. Osaka, rattled, started to spray errors, her footwork a half-step slow, her reactions a fraction too late. In the 4th set, Anisimova broke early and never looked back. By the time she closed it out 6-3, she was roaring, fist-pumping, commanding the court like a warrior who had found her destiny. Osaka, ever composed, nodded in acknowledgement, her aura dimmed but her respect evident. The 5th set felt inevitable. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.